When it comes to good storytelling here at the Word Nerds, we are all about recommending great books that we have fallen completely in love with. But for this week, I wanted to do something a little bit different. Hello Word Nerds! Happy Saturday! I hope you're all having a great weekend and you managed to get some writing done this week because it was the last week of February, which is pretty terrifying. But on a happier note for this week's video, I wanted to share some of my favorite examples of storytelling with you guys. But in order to mix it up, we are steering clear of books, and I'm throwing in some recommendations from completely different mediums that I think you all might still enjoy. And as a bonus, there's a lot to learn from all sorts of things like video games and movies and TV shows and board games and comic books. Those are the things I'm giving examples of today. So I picked one example from each of these categories that I think you guys will genuinely enjoy and can also take away some bonuses when it comes to learning about your own novel writing process and just storytelling in general. First up is the movie category, and my pick for this one is without a doubt hardcore YA romance contemporary just goodness, and that is The First Time. This stars Britt Robertson and Dylan O'Brien. You may have guessed, but this is all about the first time a new couple is having sex and the awkwardness of it and the cuteness of it and how it doesn't always go according to plan, but it's just such a great story. I've seen this a few times over. I just keep rewatching it because I fall in love with this couple time and time again, and it just seems like such a genuine YA story. So if you like love stories or contemporary YA at all, I absolutely recommend The First Time. And then in the comic book category is something I already talked a little bit about when I did my graphic novel recommendation video, and that is Saga. This is by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. It is not YA by any stretch of the imagination. There are some very adult scenes in this, but it is still a great example of storytelling and an epic, well, saga that just spans so many characters and generations and different planets and species and politics, and I cannot get enough of this series. Saga is narrated by a girl named Hazel, but the main story is actually about her parents who come from two different species who are warring against each other in this big intergalactic battle, and yeah, it is just a great story and I cannot recommend this enough. For my TV pick, I chose Dollhouse, which is a Joss Whedon series. Joss Whedon has brought us things like Buffy and Angel and Firefly and of course the Avengers movies, so you know he is good for a great time. Basically, Dollhouse follows this company that essentially rents out people. The dolls who live there are wiped of their own personalities and then imprinted with other people's personalities in order to suit their clients' desires, so it is very, very creepy in that aspect, but the main doll becomes kind of sentient and things tumble from there. There's also a very cool post-apocalyptic storyline in the season finales of both seasons, and yeah, there's so much awesome stuff going on here that I really can't recommend it enough. And again, it is a great example of fantastic storytelling that we can learn a lot from. And then jumping over to video games, we have the Walking Dead series by Telltale Games. This is the first season of kind of a storytelling adventure. Basically, as you go along, you're just making decisions for the main characters. There is very little actual fighting. It is not an action game at all. It is all about the characters and the storytelling. You don't need to be familiar with the graphic novels or the TV series to enjoy the storytelling for what it is. There's so much to enjoy here. I have played through this twice over, and I'm going to jump into the second season anytime now because there's so much to appreciate here. It is just a beautifully well done story. Fair warning though, be prepared for this game to break your heart a little bit. And that brings us to our last recommendation for the day. This one is the most unconventional of the group because I'm recommending a board game for its storytelling aspects. The Resistance Avalon is set in King Arthur's court. Basically, there is the round table of knights and the forces of evil who are fighting against them. All of the people playing the game are secretly assigned one of the teams. Either you are on the side of good, being King Arthur and Knights of the Round Table, or you are with Mordred and all of the baddies who are trying to tear them down and bring everything crumbling to ruin. Where this game gets really interesting is that you have to learn how to read different people and who to trust as you're playing through different quests where the good guys are trying to accomplish their goals and the bad guys are trying to sabotage them from within. Not only is this game a lot of fun, but there's also a lot to learn here about human behavior and how people act in tense situations, how they try to influence and manipulate one another, and having two teams pitted against one another trying to reach conflicting goals and just how they all act and interact. And yeah, this is just a lot of fun, and I'm sure there are a lot of ways you can incorporate it into your own storytelling while having a good time in the process. So that's it for my non-bookish recommendations. If you guys have any board games or comic books or movies that you think we would enjoy, let us know in the comments and I will absolutely check those out. That's it for me today. Hopefully I will see you tomorrow during our live chat for our Red Queen book discussion. Have a great weekend and I will see you all next time.